Hello everyone, this is Ben Ray from Xerion Software. I wanted to throw together a quick video on how to build an Android third-party widget. So this is pretty beneficial when you want to extend the abilities of the iPhone Builder platform to adding your own custom application and still make it send data back and forth between the two applications. So you'll want to first have Android Studio installed, which I have, and I've created a new application, so I'm just going to call it Test1. Now remember this package name that is created for you. This is how we are going to be invoking this application from the iForm app. So I'm just going to hit next here and choose a minimum SDK I want to run this on. I'll hit next again, and I'll just make a blank activity, hit next, and I'll keep it same as my activity. So what it's going to do is build the application here, and you'll see I do have another app in the background running just so I can copy some of the code from this to make this a bit easier on ourselves. So once this is done, we're going to see, here's kind of what we're working with. So first we're going to add in a button, so we can tap that button and call iForm, and then we're also going to add in the text field. So let's first add in our text field here. So I'm going to add a plain text here right at the top of the form, and we're going to have a few problems rendering it, which is fine. So let's add in the text, and let's also add in the button. So I'll add in a button here, and I'll add the button right here, we'll say. Now let's name this button, we'll call it send to iForm, so we have that, and now we can save kind of what we've built. So that's really all we need to do from the building side. We have a text field, you're going to enter some text, and when you hit submit, it's going to send that text back to iForm. So in this screen is where you really would configure how your app feels and behaves. If you want to build a stopwatch, if you want to build different applications that maybe track your steps throughout a course of a record, anything like that. That's really what this could be used for. Even working with different hardware applications too is key, because a lot of these SDKs, you just download them and they would work out of the box. You just need to add a button to send the data back to iForm. So configuring these things can be quite easy, and hopefully this video shows you how. So let's move back into the main activity.java, where we're going to be adding in our code. So we're actually going to be using a method called CallBack that I have built here in the other application. So let's open up our CallBack method here, and what we're going to do is just paste it right into here. So I'll make sure that we have all this code here in the video as well. But we're importing three different things: the intent, the view, and the text view. If you don't have that, you may get some red arrows down here, but since I copied it in fine, there's no errors. What we want to do next is go back. Since we have this set up, we want to go back and make sure that our button, when we click on it, will actually call that method. So let's go to our onClick attribute here of the button, and we're going to do callback. And then again, we can go save this again. And I just want to run through what this function does. So when I click on that button, it's going to invoke callback. So first it's going to build an intent. So this is a new intent of saying let's call back to iForm. Then we're going to store the value from this text field in here. So this is a text view we're going to store it in, but we're going to grab the value of editText, which is the R.id.editText, which will refer to in our XML the edit text here. So this is our ID of this button. And then we're going to set our activity result here, get the message that we want to send back to iForm, which is the data of the text. So getText.getString. Then we want to say iForm is expecting a field called data, and then the value of whatever that message is. So we're going to send that back to iForm, and then we're going to finish to close the Android app. So now once this is done, what we're going to do is we're going to deploy it to our Android application. So I'm just going to get up Reflector here and just kind of show you what will happen when I deploy this app. So let's play this. And you should see my device come up here in just a second. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to deploy it to my application here, or to my device. So it's installing it right now. We'll just wait another few seconds. All right, here's our application. So basically what happens, we have a text field here up above. We can enter some information. And then down below we have a send to iForm, which closes the app. So how we make it work with iForm, we see that the application works just fine, but we need to figure out how to make it work with iForm. So what we're going to first do is open up the form builder, and we're going to be adding a third-party widget to the form. So let's go in here, stopwatch time activity, and I'll load this form. And I have a bunch of widgets here I've already built, but let's just add a new one here maybe at the top and call this my test app. And we're going to call this a third-party widget. And now this is where the package name comes in. It can be found in Android Studio here. You'll see com.zerion.hardware.test1, or you can just copy it from how I copied it earlier. So I did save it earlier, so com.zerion.hardware.test1. So now we know that when this application is called, it's going to be, or when this button's clicked, it's going to call the test1 application. So now that that's saved, let's get Reflector back up on the screen here. And we'll sync up our form, and we'll see how the data gets passed between both applications. So let's open up the iForm app now. I've successfully synced the new information. So I'm just going to choose on our stopwatch, and I'm going to see I have my test app here at the top of the form. Now when I tap on this, it's going to invoke the custom third-party application. And then we're going to type in some information here at the top. So I'll just type in some dummy data here. And then when I hit the button Send to Form, it's going to close this application and send the data right back into the form. So again, if you missed that, you tap on the app, it invokes the custom application, fill out some information, and then choose Send to iForm, and the data will be truncated back into the application. So that's kind of the full loop on how to build a third-party widget here using Android Studio and using the iForm Android client. I do want to put together a video next on the iOS side so you can see kind of how to build mirroring applications that will work on iOS as well as Android. Thanks for watching.